on Thursday Thoughts. I haven't experienced this in a month and a half, Kevin. How are you doing, man?
We're live and we're back. Good to be back.
Indeed. We took a little. Say it again.
No, you go ahead.
No, I was saying we took a little summer break, a little month off, and lined up some great guests. I'm super excited for who we have today. But also a quick shout out to my man Malcolm. I got him in the background because Eagles camp kicked off this week. He's in New Orleans. It's all good, but still got a rep. One of my favorite players. So shout out to him. But I'm excited to get to it, man. I'm excited to bring people this guest and to be back with you on Thursday Thoughts, bro.
Yeah, it's good to be back, and I can see our synergy is off a little bit. We're talking over each other, and we got to get back into the swing of things. It's been a busy summer. Business is busy, and personal life is busy for everybody, of course, in the summer. And it's good to be back, and I'm excited about this topic because this is such an important topic right now. It's been a hot one for the past year and a half, and I think we hope things are getting a little bit better out there. I know there's some little bit of risk, but I think we're headed in the right direction, and we all care so much about the restaurants that we either work at or visit as often as possible. I'm excited to talk about this.
Awesome. So folks, make sure you're liking, sharing, commenting on the show, and welcome to Thursday Thoughts. Welcome to Thursday Thoughts, everybody. Zach James with Kevin Homer, the Navitas marketing folks. We're super excited to have you back. We haven't done Thursday Thoughts in a few months, but this is, of course, a show where we chat with thought leaders and industry experts and all around amazing people about great topics and things that we think our business community and friends need to know about and learn. So super excited to be back. Kevin, how you doing today, man?
Doing good. You alluded to a football camp being open, and in addition to that, we've got the NBA draft tonight, and we've got the MLB trade deadline tomorrow. And I know we're not here to talk about sports, but I'm excited.
I tell you what, the dude I'm bringing on, I don't think I've yet to have a conversation with him where sports wasn't the first thing we talked about, and he can go toe to toe with anybody, and that person is Mr. Larry Fiel. This is my guy, Larry. I want to tell you guys a little bit about Larry right quick. Larry is fueled by passion, dedication, and proven in-depth experience in both full cycle marketing and technology. Larry has leveraged over 40 years of practical knowledge to help raise the bar for excellence in a variety of verticals, including the restaurant hospitality industry, IT, education, and he's worked in social services. With 4 academic degrees, including an MBA and an MS in MIS, which Larry, you're going to have to tell me what the heck that means, and an intuitive understanding of interpersonal relationships, Larry, an adjunct professor, thrives on educating and mentoring others and finding order amid chaos, which I can contest he's done that for me. By excelling in brand creation and propagation, strategic marketing, lead generation, and marketing communications, Larry has helped foster sustained business profitability through increasing revenue and the lowering of both tangible and intangible costs. Super excited to welcome you all to Larry Fiel. Larry, what's up, man?
What an intro. So here's the deal. One, it was on my bucket list to be on Zooming with Zach. So now if something happens and I end up, retiring or whatever, at least I can say I was on Zooming with Zach.
What?
With Kevin.
Well, only caveat. This ain't Zooming with Zach. I can appreciate you wanting to be on it. This is Thursday Thoughts. It's a different show. Now, you still have Zoom in with Zach on your bucket list.
I do.
You can knock this one off, but I might bring you on that show someday. We'll talk.
I can do both because I just want to talk sports with you.
Well, yeah.
All right. So I'm thinking I'm thinking if things go well and they're healthy, now that they have a cornerback, 10-6 is not unrealistic.
10-6
To
prediction.
go from 4-11-1, it's a big change, but it is possible. You have to think big. You have to go for the stars. Number two is Phillies starting pitching. And of course, the Sixers and Big Ben, what's going to happen there? I have trust in Sam Hinkie. We'll see what happens.
Right. Yeah. I'm not holding my breath for any of it, but I'm hoping for some better teams going into these next seasons because we've had a rough COVID year for sure.
It was a major disappointment all around, and we're not even going to talk Flyers. So, but they're revamping their defense, so
Indeed.
That's really good. Two things. One, when I saw the brain in your intro, and I'm thinking, don't put spikes on them because it's the COVID thing. And number two, it's Management Information Systems. This is MIS.
Management Information Systems.
Yeah, that just means I started out in the hardware and software, and I morphed into marketing and advertising and all that stuff. So I can play in both worlds. I can play in the IT world. I could play in the creative world. So that's the MIS.
That sounds like to me that you are basically a perfect fit for PDQ.
Well, I am, and being old means I've done a lot. And I think with age comes wisdom, and I'm very wise. So it's kind of a backhanded compliment on myself, really. But I wanted to talk about something that's kind of, I think, important to people nowadays that are in the restaurant space, if you're an owner-operator. And I think that has to do with, managing with delivery, with online ordering. And I want to talk about that and kind of set the record straight. I'm an educator. Right. I'm not a salesperson, so that's good. We're not going to sell. I'm not going to have my hand out. But I'm excited to be here, Zach. So just awesome. Thank you for the time. And I still want to do Zoom in with Zach, though. This is Thursday Thoughts, and today is Thursday, right?
Today is Thursday. So Zoom with Zach can be any day, and I got it in the background right there so y'all can see.
Yeah, because I see it there, and I'm like, oh, Zoom with Zach. I mean, it's still a bucket list thing, so I still have it.
I got some beef with LinkedIn today. So LinkedIn, for some reason, is having some trouble streaming. So when you start explaining, I'm going to try to share our YouTube link on LinkedIn so folks can see it. But super excited to get into this topic as well. Me and Kevin were saying that this was a very important topic. We've worked with a lot of restaurants and folks in this space, and we understand the struggle that can come with growing and kind of competing with all these different delivery apps. So I'm looking forward to jumping into the topic. And as we were talking about prepping for this, the first thing we wanted to talk about was what was the current restaurant climate. And you highlighted a couple things, 4 things, but these 2 particularly at first: impact of COVID and the new front of house. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. So, prior to COVID, it was more normal, I would say, where you go into a restaurant and you sit down with friends or family or by yourself and you enjoy. Well, then when COVID happened, it shut down a lot of the restaurants. Those who mainly serve on premise, and we shifted to off premise now. And we started earlier than COVID with things like delivery and stuff, but it really it went mainstream with COVID because that was the only way you could eat out, is either delivery with contactless, possibly pickup with contactless, but certainly not indoors. Mm-hmm. Well, here's the deal. Things become a habit after time, and time has elapsed with COVID. It's been 16 months or so, that it becomes habit now, and that's ingrained. So I don't think it's going away once it becomes a habit. And a habit now is, hey, let's utilize the front of the house, namely your smartphone. that's basically your POS, that you can order and do everything from your phone. It's the convenience factor. And I think it's where we're headed. Is it going to revert to where people go indoors? People will always go inside seating because you're with friends. It's just a fun time. However, the delivery aspect and the online ordering aspect is here, and it's here forever. So I think what COVID has done, it has just made a habit of something that wasn't really a habit. It was more of a novelty. It's no longer a novelty. It's part of how we expect to do business. It's how we expect to eat out. It's how we expect to frequent the restaurants. God forbid, should there be another pandemic of something else, I think we're already prepared. And I think in our minds, we were sort of hit by this COVID thing out of the blue.
Right.
So I think our minds were better prepared now for the future. And clearly, restaurants who have adopted the off-premise technology, the off-premise mindset, have really thrived and will continue to thrive.
100%. 100%.
How crazy it is that we've even seen this concept of ghost kitchens popping up, so that now not only are restaurants embracing the online ordering and delivery options, but they're actually saying that it's your only option. You don't get a physical address for these restaurants anymore. You only have one option: order it online. We will bring it to you.
It's a great point. And when people realize they can monetize something and they market it, it's going to take hold. And obviously, Ghost Kitchens is a monetizer. It's a cost savings. It's also a convenience for the consumer. So I think when you have an idea that can be monetized and replicated, it becomes mainstay.
Yep.
100%. Now, you also mentioned something about the new front of house. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, sure. There's a front of house and back of house. Traditionally, the front of the house would be obviously your POS, where you'd walk into a restaurant and you would order something and they would bring it up for you. Well, that's the front of the house, the order taking. The back of the house is all the stuff that happens behind the scenes. The stuff, the scheduling, the inventory, the recipe management, the menu management, the applications that provide all the data that you need with the enterprise reporting, so you can make fast, on-time decisions. But the front of the house, obviously, as we've morphed from on-premise to off-premise, well, the phone is now the front of the house. The phone is where you do the ordering instead of walking in. So you look at an online order and you say, okay, I'm going to order from XYZ, and you place the order. Well, that's essentially the same thing that you would do if you were in a store, in a restaurant, having the order taker do it for you.
Gotcha.
So that's your front of the house now.
Gotcha. Now, as we continue to talk about some of these topics related to current restaurant climate, you talked a little bit about the delivery fulfillment element, and then also this blame game, which we had a fun little chat about. So could you explain that a little bit for people?
Sure. So the proliferation of off-premise, largely because of COVID, because it's here to stay, is something that now you have companies, UberEats, DoorDash, GrubHub, and the like, that provide a service. And that service is the online ordering and the fulfillment of the order, the delivery. Well, it's wonderful. It's needed. However, it's wonderful for the company that provides it. It's wonderful for the consumer that gets an incredibly value-added service. not necessarily so wonderful for the owner operator of the restaurant
Gotcha.
because it's expensive. There are fees associated with doing that service. And those fees can be 15, 20, 25, 30% of each order. So for the owner operator whose margins are incredibly razor thin to begin with in the food industry, you really have to give up your profit in some ways because you're having to pay the online ordering company, the Uber Eats of the world, a fee. So while it's great because you're getting many, many, many eyeballs,
Hmm.
getting a lot of people who may or may not would normally come to your restaurant. The problem is you're giving up your margin. So it's not how much you earn. I'm sorry, it's not how much you make, it's how much you earn. So you can say, "Gee, my sales are up. Look how much money I'm selling." Well, what's your net profit? It's not your gross, it's how much you earn. And when your margins are thin and you're looking at paying 15 or so percent on each order, how much are you making at the end of the day?
Right.
Now, clearly, these companies will tell you, well, you're getting more customers. That might be true. It also may be that you're getting the same amount of customers, they're just shifting. Instead of coming into your restaurant, they're ordering online. So it's not more, it's just a shift in the way they're ordering. And if that's the case, when they come into your restaurant, you're getting 100% of your profit. You're giving it away if they're doing online ordering. So are you really ahead of the game? Maybe, maybe not.
Right. Right. And tell me, let's dig into this blame game because I thought that was a really interesting element of the delivery apps in space that I wasn't really thinking of before.
Well, here's the deal. When you have a third party company, you are giving up your most important asset, your brand. Number one, your brand is your most important asset. Kevin knows that by being the owner of a very successful marketing company. It's all about brand.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
And so when you're seeding your brand, you're giving up your brand to somebody else, namely the third party delivery companies. Do they do things exactly the way you would do it? Are they courteous? Are they efficient? Are they friendly? Are they on time with the delivery? Certain foods have a short shelf life, like French fries. They're really good when they're fresh and hot, but man, oh man, you wait a few minutes. So I guess the point is that when things go wrong, either the delivery person's not friendly, there's an error, whatever happens, who gets blamed? It's not always the third party delivery company, it's usually the restaurant. Not always, but a lot of the times. So, therefore, when you do that, you're running the risk of losing your brand, of having people think of you as something differently than who you really are. And remember, the best thing about the internet, everyone has a voice. The worst thing about the internet, everyone has a voice.
Right.
When they're happy, they typically shut up. When they're unhappy, it goes viral. And when it goes viral, that's your reputation. That's your brand, is your reputation.
Right.
So you lose your brand, your reputation. that could really tarnish your business. And it's kind of a scary proposition where it's kind of like you're telling a third party to hold your baby. Oops. That's not good.
Right, right. And I'll even contesting to that. I guess I'll give a shout out to Little Sicily Pizzeria Restaurant in Bridgeport. My mother orders from them probably twice a week, if not more than I want her to. But she calls them directly. She doesn't even know how to use apps or the internet, period. So she calls them and they come to the house. And they've come to the house so much that they check the mail. Sometimes they'll bring up the newspaper. She tips them very nicely. And she has a very established relationship with the 2 or 3 folks that typically deliver to her house. And she would refuse to do it any other way or to have some random person coming every time she would order food from delivery apps because she doesn't get that personal relationship. Now, I'm sure that's a thing of a little bit more common in the older generation, but it's appreciated. And she doesn't call me to come over and bring her mail from her mailbox. So I'm like, all right, let them do it
for everyone.
right.
Mom she's being taken care of. Yeah, I wonder if they do windows and vacuum. But that's a whole other story. But she's taken care of, which makes you happy, and she's happy. But that's the kind of service that is, it's called a delater in marketing. It's an unexpected delater that, whoa, look what I'm getting. And so she'll have, they'll have the customer for life, and
that's the key. Yeah,
and she'll tell her friends.
She won't order anywhere else, and I tend to order from them when I need something from a pizza spot. I tend to go there because I know how well they treat my mom. So, that's one of those benefits that comes from that organic relationship that you can establish when you're actually working with a restaurant and not a delivery app. Which is a good segue into, kind of really the crux of our topic is talking about what is the issues with these delivery apps? What is the downside to relying on them? And I thought it was a really interesting thing that you mentioned first was the marketing prowess of the apps and how strong that is and how it's basically almost like an attractive nuisance. You can't really avoid working with them.
Well said, an attractive nuisance. I love that. I mean, that you should can that. That's really good. That's really good. And you're right. It's the power of marketing. That's why I'm in marketing, because I love the power of marketing. Marketing is psychology in action. It's getting someone to take a predetermined course of action, one that you want them to take. Ask, learn, inquire, participate, join, but not buy. Buy is sales. So marketing being the sizzle, not the steak. So with that in mind, it's the sizzle that they're selling. And they're selling this thing where, hey, we provide the service, you need it, you're going to get more customers, and they don't tell you the possible downside. On the positive note, they are needed because not everyone has the capability to do their own online ordering menu, that kind of thing, or working with a POS provider, nor do they have the opportunity of the fulfillment, which is the delivery part. So yes, the major players are needed in the space. They provide a wonderful service. So I'm not saying, oh my God, run like the plague. I'm saying that there's probably a way that you could utilize the third parties as well as your own and do a hybrid approach. So you can get the eyeballs that you need and still hold on to your needed margins.
Mm-hmm.
But like anything else, Zach, Kevin, with marketing, they want you to believe it's the best thing out there. And look how many customers you're getting. And like we talked about, you may be getting more. It may just be a shift in their ordering habits from, in-premise to off-premise. So really, how's that working. So what I came up with was basically the hybrid approach.
Awesome.
Which I guess we'll get to when it falls into the
Yeah, we'll jump into that. We'll jump into that next. One other thing I wanted to mention about the issues was the integration element. Can you speak towards that a little bit?
That's a good point. There's a couple of ways to do this, to harness the power of your third party. You can do it with no integration to your point of sale. You can do it with seamless integration to your point of sale. At its core, let's just say you're a restaurant and you want to use UberEats or DoorDash or GrubHub or any of the others. How that works is typically you'll have a tablet, a small tablet POS, for each of the vendors that you use. Now, it's called tablet mayhem because I've been behind the counter of many restaurants that have the point of sale. And then they have this array of 4 or 5 tablets. Well, this is your Uber Eats tablet, and this is your GrubHub tablet, and, one for DoorDash, and you have 4 or 5, 6 tablets. When you get an order, and the order comes in, say, from Uber Eats, it comes in on the tablet. If it's not integrated with your point of sale, or if you don't have a point of sale, if you don't have a point of sale, you print out the ticket, it takes you to the kitchen. If you have a point of sale where you have to reconcile each order, then what you have to do is you say, oh, I've got the order from the tablet. You print out the ticket, and then you have to manually re-enter the order into your point of sale so you can reconcile. Because nothing gets done in the kitchen unless you enter it onto the POS. So you're duplicating the effort. And the more orders you get online, you really want to spend your time re-entering the order, because when you re-enter it, it's not only the time, it's you expose yourself to making an order entry mistake. If you make an order entry mistake and it's the wrong item, that costs you money. You have to redo the order, and the customer's not happy. But that's how many people do it. If you're integrated, then the order comes in and it goes right into your point of sale. And then when you look at your report, it says, okay, these are all the sales for the day, let's say. We have these many sales in-house. We have this many from online ordering. We have this much out of the online ordering. There's this percentage from Uber Eats and this percentage from GrubHub or whomever. So you have it all, this historical data. So you know exactly what's coming in and from what source. And it's all seamless. You don't have to do a thing.
You know what I'm curious about?
No.
How many couples have gotten into arguments because the one who actually put in the order on the delivery app put it in right, but what came was wrong, and the other person got furious saying you didn't take my order right, and they're beefing in the house. They're not even mad at the app, and they don't realize that it's those people who got the order trying to put it in their POS system, jacked it up, and that messes up your flow. I'm sure that happens on a regular basis.
It has to. And when it happens on the weekend, well, when you're all excited to have a nice time and the weekend's ruined because there's a little bit of conflict, I mean, that's not good for the mojo. That is not good. No. And then when the home team loses, everybody loses. You, them, your significant other, your friend. I mean,
whoever's there, the whole gang.
It's havoc, and that can't happen. I mean, no. But you're a good student of the game with relationships, and it does happen that way.
Yep.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Exactly.
I think we accidentally just rebranded PDQ, the new tagline. It's good for the mojo.
I love that, Kevin. And that's why you're in marketing.
That's
That's
it.
why you're successful at what you do, because
If that doesn't get the attention of restaurant owners, I don't know what will.
right. Because look, it's all about the mojo.
It's all about the mojo.
You know, you lose the mojo and no one's happy.
We better talk about this offline before one of our viewers takes this from us.
But good.
Right.
We're live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. We're live on LinkedIn. You know, we can't be giving away all the ideas.
That's true. That's true. We've got to have some secrets close to the vest, close to the mojo vest.
Yep. Let's jump into that hybrid approach you were talking about and put it up there. And in general, it was you had here utilizing third-party online ordering in conjunction with your in-house ordering. How do you go about doing that? And tell us a little bit about it.
Okay, that's a great question. And here's how I see it. You know, if online ordering is a necessity, it's not just an option. It is a necessity. How to fulfill the online ordering, it's in one of two ways. Utilize a third-party company to do delivery, or if you have the luxury, use in-house delivery. So if you're a pizzeria, you've been doing delivery all your existence anyway. If you're not a pizzeria, and you're a quick service or a sit down or a fast casual, whatever you happen to be, or a specialty, you can consider delivery. You have to do the math and see if it works out well. But the approach is kind of twofold. You need online ordering. Now, how do you do that? Well, you do it through the third-party delivery people, or you have your native online ordering. And what do I mean by native? There's two types of integration. There's two types of service. One is the service that you have through your third party that should be integrated with the point of sale, so you don't have to re-enter. And the other is having an application, an online ordering application that's built into your POS system that your POS provider can do for you. It is your brand, it is your colors, your theme, your tagline, everything is you. It's all custom to you. And when someone goes on their front of the house, on their phone, and they order from you, they're ordering directly from your website, directly from your platform, rather than through a third party. Why do that? If they come directly to you, you get 100% of the sale. If they go through a third party, you get less. It could be 80%, 85%, it could be 75%, but you're paying fees. So my hybrid approach is kind of simple. What's the biggest advantage of a third party? One, the eyeballs. A lot of people know GrubHub, a lot of people know UberEats, a lot of people know these platforms.
Right.
So they're going to go there and they're going to find you, where they may not find you otherwise. Well, you want the eyeballs. But you don't want the eyeballs once you get that person to order from you via the third party. You don't want them to ever order again through the third party. You want them to then order directly from you. So how do you do that? Well, what if when you place the order is placed, what if you send a text to that person? What if you put a little flyer inside the bag of food that's going to go out and be given to the customer that says, hey, thank you for ordering with Uber Eats or whatever. Next time, order directly from our website, from our online ordering website. And you give them the URL, and you say, and when you do, you'll get a bonus. You'll get rewards points, or you'll get a free drink, or you'll get a extra large, one free topping of pizza. Whatever the offer is, you give them an offer, and you train them. It becomes a habit, just like COVID, because it happened over time, changed the habits of us to think about off-premise versus in-premise. This will change the habit of the customer to say, I ordered from GrubHub from you. I might as well order directly from your website next time, directly from your online ordering platform, and I'll get a little bonus. I'll get a reward, loyalty. You'll give them something. And then they'll keep coming back. So you get the eyeballs and you train them to go directly to you, so you keep the margins. And the more you do that, hopefully you'll continue to get more people ordering through the third parties, and you'll train every one of them, hopefully, to come through you the next time, the next time, the next time.
Love it.
If not, then you're just going to get away from your margins. I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying when your margins are razor thin and every dollar counts, this is a real help.
Right.
It's a real help.
Right.
I've also noticed, and I think this has become more common over the past year or two, but I've noticed that when ordering something on GrubHub or Uber Eats or something, the pricing is usually higher to me, the consumer, than it is if I called and ordered directly through the restaurant, or if they had their own online ordering system. So as it is, ordering directly through them is probably going to save me a couple dollars. And I love what you said, Larry, about offering, from the restaurant's perspective, giving something away. If the restaurant knows that having the order come through the third party is costing them on average, let's say $10 or $15, then it's good business to say, I'll give you a $5 coupon when you order directly through us. I'm getting cheaper prices. You're giving away less money while still getting that loyalty. It's a win-win.
I am really glad you said that, Kevin. You are absolutely right. That's the way to do it. We have in our software on our point of sale the ability for the restaurant owner to say, if this is an online order from a third party, raise prices X percent across the board.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's happening. I know of no restaurant, there are probably some, but very few and far between, who has the same price when they're working with online ordering, because how else do they stay in business? How else do they become profitable? They have to raise prices to offset and recoup the fees that are being assessed upon them. That's just business.
Yeah.
So you're right. So if you want to pay, $5 for something directly, and you want to pay $6 or $7 because it's an online order, you're paying for the convenience. Now, remember, you as a consumer, you're paying the added cost, like you mentioned, Kevin.
Yeah.
Plus, you're paying the delivery fee, you're paying the service fee, all for the convenience of having it delivered. Well, why don't you just pick it up?
Right.
I'm just saying, maybe.
And if you order delivery through a restaurant directly, you're going to pay a $3 service charge. They're going to tack on something. But I know, I've gotten gift cards. Maybe I get a $25 gift card for GrubHub. And hey, if you're going to give me free money, I'm going to use it. I don't like supporting the third party platforms, but you have to use it. But then I start the order and I see that every item I just ordered, added a couple extra dollars to it. And now instead of my $3 delivery charge, I've got a $10 delivery charge because it's through one of these third parties. And, I just inflated my bill $20 so I could use my $25 gift card.
Do the math.
And I feel bad and I feel guilty about it because I know I'm hurting the restaurants also.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
And I'm a big proponent of helping the restaurants.
Yeah.
Because I get their daily struggle. We need them, and we need them to remain profitable. We need them to remain in business. So the third parties are a needed service. I get it. But you have to mitigate. You as the consumer have to understand what's happening. Because I think, the consumers are losing out because they're paying more. And the restaurateur is certainly losing out in the long run. So I think an educated owner-operator is probably one who could understand what's happening and sort of change his or her dynamic to play in the space, but to also ensure profitability.
And I was going to say, mention the education word also, that I get it. When you're trying to run a restaurant, you're concerned with the food, you're concerned with the experience. The business side of it is almost cast off to the side a little bit. And when you need a solution like this quickly, and these third-party apps are available, and they're going to get you on there quick, and there's going to be low setup fees, and people know what these third-party app brands are, I understand why it's attractive. You don't have any other choice, right? But now with that education piece coming into it, now we start to realize maybe there are other options. But if you just take a second to think about it, take a step back and really look at what the alternatives are, it can really be so much more profitable for the restaurant long term. Short term, I get it. It's a little bit more work to get started, but we got to look at the long game here.
Right. Very well said. That's why Navitas marketing is.
Thank you for sending me that script before we started.
It's true. It's sustainable. It's sustained profitability. Yes, the startup is easy. It's quick through third party, done, and you're happy. But then when you look at it holistically from end to end and you realize sustainability, you need a long-term solution, one that works for you. And that's why there's chocolate and vanilla ice cream. What might work for you may not work for somebody else. But in general, the thing is to work with a provider, like a POS provider, a company that understands and can do it in such a way that it achieves the goals that you want to accomplish. And at the end of the day, you're selling more food to more customers more frequently, easier and quicker than ever before. That's the goal.
Right. Awesome. Thank you so much, Larry, for dropping this knowledge on our audience. It's greatly appreciated.
You know what? I love it. I love educating, and I still want to talk sports though.
Nice.
I'm kind of like, why aren't we talking sports? Oh, wait, that's a different show. I get it. Now I get it.
Now you got it.
Exact thing. Thursday thoughts that, and since today's Thursday, we're thinking, but no, it's been a blast. I enjoyed being here. Zach, you're one of my favorites, and you've always been.
I like that. I'm gonna stay in those good graces too.
You get it, and Kevin, it is a real honor. Congratulations on your brand and your successes.
Thank you.
I know you help a lot of people who need the help in their marketing endeavors. We speak the same language.
Yep.
So great job there by you and
appreciate it.
Team.
Yes.
Awesome.
So
Awesome.
the question popped up, Larry. Do you think Ben Simmons will be a Sixer 24 hours from now?
Absolutely not.
He's
I
trading
don't.
tonight.
I don't. I mean, I think I. It's either yes or it's no.
You're probably right.
So right. So it's one or the other. That I can guarantee. I'm thinking that because the draft and a deal. I mean, do we have assets? I think it's time for a trade. I think I like Ben. I think if we continue to do what we're doing, we're going to continue to get what we're getting. And if it works, we wash, rinse, repeat. Although I shouldn't really know that because I don't have much to wash, rinse, or repeat. But I truly think that you got to shift. But you got to get value. And I know there are a lot of teams that have shied away from the value that we're asking in return. But remember, for a team that needs defense, you can't get any better than Ben Simmons.
Absolutely.
Right.
And we need shooters.
We do.
I'm going to be officially on team keep Ben. And I've waffled on and off of this team a lot since the playoffs ended. And I think I'm officially on it because I agree, something needs to shift. But I don't think the shift is moving the player. I think the shift is fixing the player because I feel like if we can – I've seen him shoot. I've seen the videos. Like, I know it happens. I need it to happen in games, and I need the free throw percentage to go up maybe 15 to 20%. And I think both of those things are like they can happen. They're probably going to happen with whatever team he gets traded to because they're not going to want the same Ben we had. So if he overcomes those hurdles, I think he's a top 5 player in the league, and I just can't give that away. So I'm on team keep Ben, fix Ben, team fix Ben, hashtag fix Ben. I'm gonna start tweeting that out today. And my fingers are crossed that takes place, and we have a championship team next year. But
I agree with you, Zach, except I think that from a culture perspective, there may be too much damage done already.
It's possible.
Even if the potential is there for him to become the player that we all thought he would be and hoped he would be, it may be too little too late. We may need to just move on for culture perspectives and let's start fresh with the right guy. I agree with you, but I unfortunately I also don't. But I love that we ended the show here with a good hot take from Larry that 24 hours from now, Ben either will or will not be on the Sixers. Let's chop up this clip. Let's get it out there. You heard it here first, folks, on Thursday. And Larry, thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, my goodness.
What a great conversation.
I mean, the pleasure was mine. I mean, you guys are great. You guys, we have friends for life here, and I can't wait to talk about sports. I can't wait to talk about technology. Whatever your audience wants to talk about, feel free. It's really been a pleasure, and I can't thank you guys enough for having me.
Awesome.
Truly mean that.
Thank you.
Much appreciated, Larry. Much appreciated. Folks, again, you can continue to like, share, comment on the show. We're all tagged on Facebook and on LinkedIn. So the conversation doesn't end when the show ends. Feel free to reach out to Larry or us, and also stay tuned. As we said, Thursday Thoughts is moving to once a month, and our next one is going to be August 26th. Nick Salinda is going to be joining us. He actually visited us in season 1, and we had such an awesome conversation about advertising and ad spins on TV that I said we have to run it back, especially now that we're on StreamYard. So looking forward to having Nick join us next month. Stay tuned for more information on who we're going to have the rest of the year. And again, thanks everybody for watching another episode of Thursday Thoughts. Peace.
Peace out.